Hello and welcome to round 4 of the Daytona DMAX Championships. We're at Buckmore Park and it's time for our light enduros. They've just finished their qualifying session, a really close qualifying session in brilliant conditions here at Buckmore Park, and it's Dante Dillon who's taken pole position for the 4th round of the season. As the drivers are coming away, let's grab some of them. Let's grab Tom Kempink. Tom, that went pretty well for you. I think you got P5.
Yeah, I heard Golding say that was second at some point as well. It seems really close. So yeah, P5. I guess good point is it's the inside. Yep. But yeah, a long race, 1 hour race. So we'll see what we can do.
We've just seen one of the heavies win from I think around the same position, around 5th place. So hopeful for a top 3.
Yeah, that's the aim. Good
stuff. Best of luck in the race. Dante, quick chat. Pole position, and by quite a way as well. I think it was by almost a tenth and a half. You must be happy with that.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with that. The track conditions today is really good. Yeah, just hoping for a good race. I think I've been getting a bit unlucky in the last few Enduros, so it's nice to start off with a pole here. Just want to make sure lap 1, try and keep the lead, see where it goes from there.
Well, best of luck. Hope we see you up on the podium at the end of the race. Let's have a chat with Max. Max, fastest in testing yesterday, good qualifying. I'm just going to check. Yep, it was P3 in that one. Feeling good?
I'm feeling all right. The gap's a bit larger than I wanted. I didn't feel too good. Felt like I didn't have a lot of grip, but I hope I'll do better in the race.
So is the plan kind of, as you're on the inside, try and follow Dante through, try and get into second and then have a little battle with him through the race?
Yeah, that would be the plan. Also, I'd like for him not to get away, because I know it's quite hard to close down gaps around here.
First win in DMAX last time out. Just going to check where you are on the grid. 8th place for this one.
Only as good as your last session, aren't you? Only as good as your last session. So I'm being told that I'm losing time coming down the hill into the bottom corner here, but apart from that, it's okay. So if I can figure that out during the race, hopefully I'll find some time and make up some places.
Is this your first time at Buckmore Park?
No, I've been here before in various other categories, but it's my first time obviously here in DMAX. So yeah, it's feels quick, feels physical.
Well, we've already seen drivers come through from 22nd to finish second, so 8th place, it's not over, it can be done indeed. Sam, do you want a quick chat with us? That's not bad, it was 7th place, but up there with the front runners. How are you feeling ahead of this round 4 here at Buckmore Park?
Good, it was certainly a session, especially here because it's a small track, of just getting some space. And I managed to get a couple of clean laps through. So yeah, it's from 3rd to 7th. It's pretty close. So I'm looking forward to a good race. A lot of positions to make up. So.
And crucially for that start, you're on the inside lane as well, going into turn 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, that's certainly going to be. I'll use that to my advantage. I think the start is one of the key moments of the race. Many positions can be made up there. So looking forward to it.
Well, a fascinating qualifying, brilliant conditions here at Buckmore Park for round 4 of the Light Enduros Championship for Daytona DMAX. Let's get into this race. This should be a really, really good one.
We've had the heavies, we've had the inters, now it's time for the lights. Really great qualifying session, top 20 split by under a second, Andrew, and it looks to be another barnstormer here at Buckmore Park.
Well, absolutely, very, very close and competitive, and a bumper field once again here in DMAX. 30 drivers taking part in this one. It's round 4 of the Daytona DMAX Championships Light Enduro Championship, and I think we're all set for another great race.
So let's take you through the grid. One person that really needs no introduction, number 21, Dante Dillon, stuck it on pole early in the session and was really unchallenged until Sam Bennett came within a tenth and a half. So those two are your front row with Dante Dillon on pole, Sam Bennett alongside. Championship leader Max O'Shaughnessy is alongside Harrison Pugh on row 2 with Tom Kempink and Axel Slijepcevic in row 3, Sam Lovelace and Cameron Noble row 4, Ben Leslie, Josh Craft row 5, Nathan Bellard and Graham Cobb 11th and 12th respectively, ahead of Charlotte Manton and Richard Lacey. Hugo Bush is alongside Alexandru Damien, 15th and 16th respectively. Oliver Springate and Tansy Besant are 17th and 18th, ahead of Ethan Suter, Ross Hatings, Nikolai Angelov, Anatoly Juko, Jason Cole, Sam Hampshire, Alex Brazier, Boyd Wade Jr., Reese Harris, Alex Goodchard, Eoin Christie, and Dane Christensen rounding out the top 30 as they're getting into formation 2 by 2, and we're waiting for race control to get things underway for an hour of racing here at Buckmore Park. We're waiting for it, and they go green. And it looks like we're at least three wide, and it looks like Tom Kemping's tried to go up the inside into turns 1 and 2, goes up into third place already from 5th. So great move by Tom Kemping, and it looks like there's 3 or 4 wide coming out into turn 3 and 4.
Yep, looks like all of them are going to make it through. There were quite a few drivers breaking tram lines there. I saw Harrison Pugh. So the number 31 is into the retaining wall on the left-hand side. That's a bit of an odd incident to have. 31 being Alexandru Damien.
O'Shaughnessy's right on the back bumper going into turns 1, 2 and heading towards the first infield hairpin.
Dante not looking too happy there. I think there was a little bit of contact possibly with O'Shaughnessy in through the last corner, but he was very, very wide, and O'Shaughnessy really looks like he wants to get through as soon as possible. O'Shaughnessy quickest in practice yesterday. Has been very, very even so far between himself and Dylan.
And Tom Kemping is actually closing on the pair. That's Dylan and O'Shaughnessy, who are fighting for the lead at the moment in these early stages. And Tom Kemping's leapfrog a couple of positions going into P3, and he's nearly on the back bumper of O'Shaughnessy, and that's the number 50 behind in 4th, as there's a massive scrabble coming across the start-finish line.
Just looking at Ben Ainsley there, Ben Leslie, sorry, looking very, very quick on the back of Sam Bennett. I think Sam Lovelace has just set the fastest lap for the second lap in a row, a 45.212 that time around. Sam was, I think, quietly confident before this race, and he's running very well right now in the early stages.
He is indeed, as he's trying to put the pressure on Tom Kemping going into turns 5 and 6. Line astern those two, as the field is still trying to make its way through.
Leaders coming back through, looked like they were really attacking the curbs as well. They want to be careful with that. These curbs here at Buckmore Park, if you start hitting them too much, you're going to get yourself into a lot of trouble.
And Max O'Shaughnessy's right on the back bumper. It's a 4-way scrap. It could be a 5-way scrap very shortly, with Harrison Pugh there as well, closing very, very quickly. And that's Axel Slijevcevic, not that far behind. We've known he's quick. He was showing that at PF International a few weeks ago.
It's a yellow flag down at the bottom of the circuit.
Yeah, that's looking at turns 7 and 8.
I think it was just for a cone replacement, but Marshall's doing a good job. Got that cone back in place, and we're back to green.
17.
And we're hearing, Alex, that kart 17, that's Boyd Wayne Jr., has a 5-second penalty for cones.
So already we're not even 5 minutes in, and there's already one 5-second penalty handed out, as Dante Dillon's still keeping Max O'Shaughnessy at bay, and O'Shaughnessy's bringing Kemping and also Lovelace as well. Harrison Pugh is not that far behind the battling quartet, which could be a quintet very, very shortly, and there's also a run of cars, at least 3 behind, which includes Slijevcevic, Noble and Croft.
Noble up to 6th on that last lap as well. Another driver who was quietly confident after qualifying, qualified 8th, and is starting to make his way through the field. But crucially for a lot of these drivers, Alex, they've made it through the first couple of laps. They know what kind of race they're going to have now. Still holding
Harrison
down.
Pugh is now taken 4th, took it up the inside on turn 11. Great move from Harrison Pugh there. Pugh, who's currently at the moment 18th in the championship on 49 points.
We saw his dad having a brilliant battle in the heavies, and Harrison now doing the same, and is up to P4.
But Lovelace is still keeping him in close contact as well, right on the back bumper going down the hill into turn 7. And that was Sam Lovelace just coming through, and there we go. Axel's going to try up the inside. He throws it up the inside of Cameron Noble, and that looks like that was also Josh Croft going with him as well.
Sam Bennett up the inside. Cameron's going to lose 3 places in the matter of 3 corners.
Yes, a nice move there from Axel Slijevcevic to take 6th place there. And look at this, Shaughnessy is trying to go up the inside. He nearly does going into turn 1, but Dante Dillon actually blocks him off there nicely as the pair head into turns 3. They're going to go into turn 4 very shortly with backmarker traffic up ahead.
The race is on. It's 25 minutes and this race has come alive now. These 2 leaders are about to hit the bulk of the traffic, but it's still Dante Dillon.
Max O'Shaughnessy has an opportunity to capitalise into turn 1, into turn 2. right on the back bumper of the leader at the moment as they go through into back marker traffic once again. Turn 3. O'Shaughnessy hasn't got the run on Dillon yet. And the pair nearly clashes. O'Shaughnessy makes his way through past the number 49 into turns 5 and 6 down the hill again. These two are literally stuck together like glue. I think you said elastic band earlier on.
Yep.
Still, that magnet has come into play yet again.
Something's happened on that last lap, because there's a big gap now between Dillon and O'Shaughnessy. O'Shaughnessy with a 46.4, so probably held up by a bit of traffic there, but this is a good opportunity now for Dante Dillon to pull away.
And Max O'Shaughnessy, I think, is closing the gap slowly but surely. Tom Kempink isn't that far behind. There's about 3 karts between the dueling pair and third place at the moment, as Sam Bennett, I would imagine, is hopefully going to get past Oliver Springate very shortly. He still hasn't. He still hasn't. It's make or break for Sam Bennett now to get on the back of Lovelace.
And I think Axel Slijepcevic has now recognised that he's been shown a mechanical flag and he's in. Look at this. Max O'Shaughnessy has just put in a 44.371, the new fastest lap of the race, the new fastest lap of the weekend. And also, I think Dante Dillon's had some trouble with traffic on that last lap, getting past the number 48, Hugo Bush, because the lead is back to under a second.
Shaughnessy's got the toe going into turn 1, thinks better of it, into turn 2, still right behind. Turn 3, could he try for the switchback? Nearly goes side by side, trying to go around the outside. Dillon blocks him off nicely there, coming out of turn 4. The pair now are line astern going into turns 5 and 6, down the hill, into 7.
Good news for Sam Bennett. He's managed to get past Hugo Bush now, and but unfortunately for him, it's cost him, I reckon, about 2 seconds, because he's now 3.3 seconds behind Sam Lovelace. Meanwhile, look at this battle going into hairpin 2. This is Cameron Noble in the number 3, Charlotte Manton there in the 19. A back marker between them, and Graham Cobb's involved in this as well as they go down the hill past the pits.
And there we go. O'Shaughnessy's really trying to force the issue now on Dante Dillon. The pair go side by side nearly into turn 4. Coming out of turn 4, Dante Dillon runs a little bit wide. O'Shaughnessy's down the back of him into turns 5 and 6, down into 7. They're going to head into the lower part of the track. They're getting ever and ever closer. What was the gap last time round, Andrew?
Gap last time around between the leaders, 0.114 of a second.
And who's the fastest between the two of them?
Oh, it's so close at the moment. 44.759 for Dante that last time.
And here we go.
around.
O'Shaughnessy's got the toe. He's thinking about going up the inside. Goes to the left, to the right. Doesn't quite make the move, sticking to turn 1. Has got a little bit of a run going into turn 3.
But again, Dante takes that defensive line on the entry of both hairpins. But now there's a chance, and there's a real chance, and O'Shaughnessy could be through.
So the pair going in through turns 5 and 6. O'Shaughnessy clips the barrier. Dante Dillon slides, and O'Shaughnessy goes up the inside into turn 7. Fantastic change for the lead there. A little bit of bumping and barging, but by golly, was that a good one into turns 5 and 6. O'Shaughnessy takes the lead. Oh, and Cameron Noble's got Charlotte Manson for company in the latter stages, heading to turns 3 and 4.
And they've also got some traffic that will come into play at some point.
They're going down turns 5, 6 and 7 down the hill. So great run by Charlotte at the moment, having qualified P13 into P8. And Dillon's actually closing on O'Shaughnessy going into turns 1 and 2.
And he's just set his fastest lap of the race so far. 44.403. He's gone down the inside as contact. And he's let O'Shaughnessy back through, which is wise, because that would have probably been an ABC. Well, we just talked about Dante potentially being tired, but he has just set his fastest lap of the race, so maybe he's getting a bit of a second wind now. Oh, there's a chance now for Graham Cobb at the top end of the circuit.
Nearly threw it up the inside of Charlotte Manson on to turn 1, goes through turn 2 into turn 3. And they've got number 48 for company in between themselves and Cameron Noble as well. And here we go, the battle is on between Max O'Shaughnessy and Dante Dillon for the overall win here at Buckmore Park, as O'Shaughnessy and Dillon go through turn 4, get past a couple of back markers in the process, head down into turns 5 and 6, down the hill into 7. And if we find that Dante Dillon could spring a surprise on Max O'Shaughnessy. I'm wondering when that's going to be, Andrew.
Well, he's not got long. He's got 10 minutes on the clock as the number 3 goes up the inside of the 16. That's Cameron Noble putting another lap on Dane Christensen.
Oh, and here we go. It's tightening up a little bit closer that time around between O'Shaughnessy, who has a glance over his right shoulder, knowing that Dylan is there, and he's got to make that cut as wide as possible as the pair go into turn 4. And Dante Dillon's got a little bit of a run of O'Shaughnessy coming out of turn 3 into turn 4. He might have a bit of a draft here going into turns 5 and 6. The pair of bumper to bumper going down the hill. Great shots here by our cameraman here at Daytona, here at Buckmore, as the pair go into turn 7, 8 and 9. O'Shaughnessy's still got the lead in front of Dante Dillon as they come into the final couple of corners before coming back up the hill to complete another lap with just literally, I think, a handful of minutes remaining here, Andrew.
Yeah, 2.5 minutes to go. Here come the leaders. Start of a new lap. Still O'Shaughnessy leading from Dante Dillon. Pretty much the gap has been consistently, who's that in the wall? It might be Josh Kraft, who's had a problem and is pulling off the circuit on the approach to turn 1. So there's going to be yellows out up the hill.
As the leaders go down through turns 5, 6 and 7, they will have to slow for what happened just there with Josh Kraft. Hopefully he's all okay.
Yeah, he's going again now. The yellows have been cleared. 2 minutes to go. Not long at all. There's been a change. Dante Dillon's back in the lead.
Brilliant move. Dante Dillon, with just moments to spare, takes the initiative on that lap on the bottom part of the track. Really good driving by the number 21. So the championship leader, Max O'Shaughnessy, is trying a fight back. They're coming through turn 4 at the moment. They'll head down towards turns 5, 6, down the hill into 7. O'Shaughnessy is drafting like his life depended on it. Trying to think of maybe he can force one up the inside of Dante Dillon, but Dillon will not give this up without a fight. They're coming through turns 9, 10, 11. Dillon goes up the inside to defend from O'Shaughnessy, who's trying to weave and get past. The pair now come up the hill, heading towards the start-finish line. And it's nose to tail between Dante Dillon and Max O'Shaughnessy.
1 minute to go here at Buckmore Park. It's round 4 of the light enduros. Always there's a bit of traffic for the leaders to negotiate. There'll be this lap and one more.
So here we go. Is it going to be Dillon? Is it going to be O'Shaughnessy? We'll have just over a lap and a half to decide who wins round 4 here at Buckmore Park. But it's definitely Dante Dillon who's got the edge with the defending line. Going down into turn 7, 8, 9, the pair are basically bumper to bumper going into turn 11. Dillon again takes the racing line, blocking O'Shaughnessy perfectly there. Up the hill, going towards Herbert Rise, towards the start-finish lane. And it looks like we're going to have last lap now. And it's the pair of them are going down these straight into turn 1. Turn 2, it's still Dillon from O'Shaughnessy.
Bit of traffic ahead of them, Alex.
This could make all the difference as O'Shaughnessy nearly goes side by side trying to throw one up the outside into turn 4. The pair now come down turn 5 into turn 6, down the hill into turn 7. Dillon's got the advantage, but O'Shaughnessy could throw one up the inside in the dying seconds. They're coming into turn 9 right now. It's still Dante Dillon. O'Shaughnessy is trying to force the issue. Dillon goes into the racing line onto turn 11. Now it's up the hill, the short blast up the Herbert Rise, and I think it's going to look like, yes it is Dante Dillon that takes the win here at Buckmore Park.
Absolutely fantastic drive from both of these drivers. They both deserve to win that, and there's a little handshake, I think. Yep, good to see Dante Dillon and Max O'Shaughnessy. I tip my hat to both of you because that was absolutely brilliant. As I said earlier, these two have been a cut above the rest of the field so far since practice on Saturday afternoon, and not a surprise that they've come 1 and 2, but it's Dante Dillon who takes the win.
So let's round out the finishing order for round 4 of the 2017 Daytona DMAX Light Enduro Championship here at Buckmore Park. Funnily enough, we have to give mention to Axel Slijevcevic, P15, but still set the fastest lap of a 44.369, over a tenth quicker than what eventual winner Dante Dillon did in qualifying earlier on. So it's Dante Dillon literally by a whisker, 2.5 tenths of a second ahead of Max O'Shaughnessy, who extends his championship championship lead over both Cameron Noble and I would think Dante Dillon's a bit closer in the mix now. Tom Kempink, solid performance from the Belgian, qualified 5th, finished 3rd, ahead of Harrison Pugh, who qualified 4th, actually behind, in front of Tom Kempink. Sam Lovelace and Sam Bennett, there was a nice emerging battle there between the pair, who finished 5th and 6th respectively. Graham Cobb was 7th, finally getting past both Cameron Noble and Charlotte Manton, who finished 7th, 8th and 9th. Alex Brazier completes the top 10. Ethan Suter was 11th, ahead of Alexandru Damien. Ben Leslie and Nathan Ballard and Axel Slijepcevic completed the top 15. Sam Hampshire was 16th, ahead of Oliver Springate. Jason Cole, Alex Goodchild and Nikolai Angelov completed the top 20, with Ross Hastings, Hugo Bush, Boyd Wade Jr., Reese Harris, Dane Christensen, Owen Christie, Josh Craft, Tansy Besant, Richard Lacey and Anatoly Juko completing the 30-strong grid here for round 4 of the 2017 Daytona DMAX Light Enduro Championship.
Tom Kempink, 3rd place here at Buckmore Park today. Bit of a lonely race for you out there, but how was it?
Yeah, so I started 5th, had a really good start, moved up to 3rd. Then I saw, unfortunately, Max and Dante disappearing. Seemed like coming out of the second hairpin, I was losing 2-3 kart lengths, but every lap that's up. So at the end, yeah, it was a bit of a boring race, as you said, a bit lonely in 3rd, because I had the gap on Harrison Puig. But yeah, I was just hoping that they would start to battle a bit more so I could catch up again, but it didn't happen. They did have a great battle, but yeah, congratulations to Dante, and yeah, hopefully next race will be better.
Well done. Hopefully we'll see you back on the podium again in the future rounds and up on the top step in the future.
Yeah,
well done. Let's move on to our second place driver for the day, Max. What a race! You had the lead for a long time. What was going through your head in those last few laps?
The last few laps, I was just trying to hold my position, and I didn't really know where Dante was, if he was close or far, and if I'd make a mistake and he'd get through. And there was a lot of pressure he was putting on me, and then unfortunately he went up the inside of me with 1 lap left, which sort of decided the rest of it.
But still, good points for the championship. I think you extend your lead leaving Buckmore Park today. That's surely a good thing to have going into the middle part of the season.
Yeah, that's a very good thing to do. I mean, I'd like to focus more on the championship than individual rounds, but any podium or any win would do me good.
Well, brilliant drive. Well done. Thanks for entertaining us. Cheers, Max. Let's move on to our winner, Dante. Well, that was... You led, then you lost the lead. It seemed like you had a little bit of a wobble, and then all of a sudden you had a bit of a second wind and just charged through, and in the end you go home as the winner.
Yeah, so it started off, I think I gapped the field just slightly, and then Max was on my bumper literally the whole first 40 minutes of the race, and it was then he went for a move, he made it stick, and then he gapped me a little bit. I was like, I thought it was going to be over. Somehow we caught up, we were basically bumper to bumper the whole race, just kept swapping positions, and in the last few laps I saw an opportunity near the end of the track, went for it, made it stick, and then when it came off the final lap board, it was the most stressful hour of my life. I think that was the most difficult race I've ever had to do. Creds to Max, because he's a really fast driver, and having him pressurise you for 60 minutes, it's not easy. So he deserves to win as well, really, because I think there's kind of 2 winners. But yeah, it was a great race. On to the heats.
Well, definitely agree with that. Well done, Dante. Hope we see you up there again for the heats later on today. Well, that's it for the Enduros. An absolutely fantastic 4th round for the Lights Enduros here at Buckmore Park. We'll move on to round 5. If you want to be involved in round 5 or any of the subsequent rounds this season, head onto the website and call the number below.